All right, man. Talk your talk. You know what it is. Oh man, how y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's great. All right, man. So today's episode, Drake fans ain't gonna want to watch this. Now, I got a lot to say about Drake and the state of his what's going on in his life right now. Uh and I believe that this is the end of Drake. And I know a lot of people might think I'm tripping for saying this, but I want y'all to hear me out and I'm going to do some talking and that's it. So before I get into that, I got to get a legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing if you're new here. Let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones at. Just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is right here on the screen. Cash App. Thank you for all the Cash App, by the way. No more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. 1,300 subscribers, over 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,000. Yes, I am the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you are from. So look, man, this is going to be a doozy for all y'all Drake fans. I'm sorry to tell y'all this, but reality check has to be cashed in today. So let's get it. All right, man. So October's very own Drake. I believe he was born October 24th, I believe, or something like that. Drake is 39 years old. I believe he's about to be 40 this year. I'm not sure if he's 39. Let me see. Yeah, no, he's 38. He'll be 40 this year. He'll be 39 this year and 40 next year. Um, Drake. So Drake, we're gonna go through a little bit of the history of Drake. We're talking about a guy who numerous number one hits, numerous uh, uh, different collaborations over maybe the most songs in hip hop history when it comes to an artist who have done collabs in different things. Now, I'm sure that there's somebody that probably have more songs than him, but he has a lot of hits and a lot of music. Drake is one of these people that is known for collaborating with people when they're at their lowest in their career and collaborating with people at their highest career. Drake is one of these people that gets credit for making people's careers, even in my opinion, even though in my opinion, I think that he actually leached off of most people's careers and he didn't really break or make people's careers. I think some people catapulted, but it was basically off of their work. Because you look at Drake has collaborated with a lot of artists that didn't actually blow up. So just because you get a Drake feature, who does it help more? But that's another story. So he's been in the game for a long time, and a lot of people uh, love this man. They love him to the point where they will do anything for him. You know what I'm saying? And Drake has a history of doing certain things and allegedly having certain things done to people. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand this guy came from Degrassi into the world of hip hop. Now, when Drake came into the world of hip hop, um, he was he was a young little baby face whippersnapper. Now, Drake came from. I know this probably this was October's very own. I don't think that this was his first project. Maybe this might have been his first project. I can't remember, but his whole imagery was different because if you look at him from when he was at Degrassi, he didn't look like this. But this is not the imagery of what a rap artist would look like. This is the imagery of what an artist would look like. In most people's opinion, in my opinion, he doesn't look like a rapper. He looks like an artist or a guy who is just basically uh not taking rap serious, just basically he's this guy that does this music. You know what I'm saying? He looks like just that guy to do the music. He doesn't look like he's a rapper. Let's just say that. The jacket, the haircut, but I think the haircut kind of symbolizes what you would think that he thinks this is. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, he didn't know what he was getting himself into. Let's just say that. I think that Drake um, didn't know that hip hop is such a savage sport that I think he wasn't really prepared for in a way. You know what I'm saying? So at one point, I believe Drake did his best to try to fit in because as time went on with hip hop, you have to understand people they can point out a fake from far away. So see, the thing is, Drake, he had a lot of star power. And a lot of artists, they knew he had star power. Because see, Drake didn't understand the game back then. He didn't understand the power he had back then. You know what I'm saying? But he did understand that he had a little bit of power. But once he connected with Lil Wayne showed him and told him that he had a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that coming from a Jewish background, and he's a black man as well, he didn't realize how much power he had until he realized how much power he really had, if that makes sense. So he started wilding out. And what I mean by that is not right away. Over time, Drake has been this guy who, when he first started out in hip hop, he was an innocent, nice guy. Once he got around certain rappers, he realized that the game is not all fun and games. Because you realize Drake was a simp rapper when he first started out. He is a wannabe thug now, but he was a simp rapper when he first started out. He was just one of those guys who simped and he rapped. He simped for women and he rapped. And there's one video we said, oh, so many girls here. It's so, because I believe that Drake at the time when he was coming up, I don't think he could get a lot of girls. I think he didn't really know how to approach girls because he probably was so invested in doing what he was doing with his friends at the time. You have to understand, when you thrust into stardom like Drake was, it's hundreds of women coming at you now. You don't know what to do. That actually blows your ego up to the point where it's scary because now you believe that you're entitled to this pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me nothing. This is what it is with Drake. He was a lame. You know what I'm saying? But once he got some cool points from certain rappers who he hanged around who are from the streets, and a lot of these dudes are from the streets that he were hanging with. He's not from the streets. You have to realize that's like doing a ride along. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you not being from the streets, and you meet some dudes who want to do they want to do a ride along. Yo, bro, I'm gonna take you on this ride along to this drive by, and you survive. It could either do one or two things to you. It could either make you more of a bitch because you just seen somebody get clapped up, or it can make you a savage, strong. It can make you different. This is what I believe happened to Drake. He got in the car with a lot of these street dudes, and they did a couple of metaphorically drive-bys, and now he believes that he's one of them at this point. You know what I'm saying? He believes that he is wholeheartedly a street dude now, even though he's not from the streets. That's why he surrounds himself with all these dudes, because those dudes are from the streets. And Drake believes that that's where he's you know, is at in his life. So Drake is not a stranger to awards and accolades and achievements. I believe Drake has, 5 or 6 Grammys. He has multiple Billboard awards. Drake is not a stranger. Drake has I believe 10 certified diamond records. This guy is the pinnacle of what a successful artist should be. You know what I mean? At this point in his career, there's really nothing no one can say to him, because he has accomplished much more than probably any artist ever in a short amount of time. Now you have to understand, how he got there doesn't matter. He got there. You know what I'm saying? And his name is tied to it. So I know a lot of y'all always say, well, it does matter, because what about this and what about that? In the scorebooks, it's going to say his name. That's it. It's going to say Drake's name in the scorebook. It's not going to say this person helped him get there. Not going to say that. It's going to say his name in the scorebooks. So the difference between him and somebody like Kendrick is, you can make an argument that Kendrick Lamar did it differently. Now, even though it might say Drake name in the scorebooks when it comes to Drake, but see, when it comes to Kendrick, the respect level is going to be different, because even though it says Drake name in the scorebook, people going to still look at it and say, well, I don't respect how you won that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a boxer who only box bums, but he has an undefeated record. And then you got a boxer who has 1 loss, but he boxed all champions, or most people. You're going to respect the boxer who got the 1 loss more than the guy who has an undefeated record. That's what it is with Drake. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand, he has multiple accolades, so he's going to be where he's at. It's nothing wrong with admitting that. I can admit that he's going to be where he's at. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be where he's at. More accolades, much more things he can use against people to say this. Now, the thing about Drake is, this is his argument. His argument is, I'm the best because I did and won the most, and I have the most. But see, hip hop doesn't work like that, and it never will. Hip hop is always going to be about skill, beats, and rhymes. You can have 100 accolades, and people are still going to say that someone who can rap better than you is better than you. That's just how it goes. Drake tried to change the narrative. Well, at least the people who he followed, or the people that follow him, try to change the narrative. His number ones is what makes him the best. Because whenever you see somebody say, well, he has to be the best because he is number one, he has the most this, he's been doing that, so people say Drake's the best. Well, he has to be the best. That's the ideology that's running around in people's head, that whoever is the best has to have all the awards. They have to have all of this. Well, at least all the number ones. Because there's a different thing here that we need to talk about. Drake doesn't have the most awards. At least the most awards that count. See, Billboard awards are cool, but it's not a Grammy. You can have 100 Billboard awards. The award that most people want is Grammys. Drake has Grammys. but Kendrick has more than him. This is why he tried to shame Kendrick for the Grammys. He tried to shame him, say, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody get him a Grammy right now. It's basically saying like the Grammys is a joke because they constantly keep giving Kendrick Grammys. But the thing is, Grammys wasn't a joke when they were giving you Grammys. When you were winning Grammys, it wasn't a joke then. But see, awards is different from songs, number one songs. And the reason why I say that is because you can still win an award and not have a number one song. You can still win album of the year and not have a number one album. That can happen. It's happened. I think Drake is under the impression that because he has the most number ones, he's supposed to win everything. Because Drake has been consumed throughout his career by selfishness. He has become a different person. He's not the same as when he first started out. Drake is not the same anymore. He's totally different. If you go back and listen to Drake's old stuff, not before, I'm talking before Thank Me Later. Talking like Room for Improvement and the Comeback Season and October's Very Own and all that. That's different. Not the same. I just want to be successful. He was telling us then that he wanted to be successful. You know what I'm saying? But I think that at one point he got a wake-up call and he realized that hip-hop is not, you can't be this nice guy in hip-hop. You have to be, for you to be the best, you got to be able to diss people without them knowing you're dissing, without the masses knowing you're dissing them. They know you're dissing them. You got to be able to do that and at the same time still keep your composure. And this is what he did. He did this very well, I might add. Years later, he runs into a problem. See, Drake felt as though that he should always be on top no matter what. No matter what. No matter what happens, he should always be on top. There's nothing you can say, there's nothing anybody can do, but he should always be on top. When Kendrick dropped that Control verse, that changed everything for Drake. Because now the competition is there. It's just that Drake is a bigger artist than him at the time. But see, you have to understand, Kendrick Lamar focused on his artistry. And this is how Kendrick Lamar beat Drake. This is how Kendrick Lamar took over and Drake would never get it back. And I'm going to explain it to y'all. See, when Kendrick Lamar dropped the Control verse, that was a test to see who can actually keep up with him. It was a little litmus test that he did. And they all failed. All of them. Even my boy, Big Crit. But they all failed. We're talking about today. They all failed. Because it was basically bait to see who would actually compete, not complain. It's a big difference between complaining and competing. You have to understand, competing and complaining. Drake complained. Big Crit competed. Meek Mill competed. Some people that was even on the list that he named competed. But Drake complained. And what Drake do? He started subbing. See, this is why Kendrick Lamar did this. He flushed him out because he wanted to see who really, really, really was going to take this serious, because he said, I love you guys, but this is hip hop and y'all should know what time it is. Basically saying, like, I'm trying to be the best. You know what I'm saying? And nobody got in their feelings but him. That right there let Kendrick Lamar know that Drake isn't hip hop, because that got under his skin so bad that he did interviews about it with Elliott Wilson. He said something on Angie Martinez. He did everything. Instead of him getting in the booth and replying, the reason why he didn't get in the booth and reply is not that he couldn't keep up. It's the fact that he felt as though that Kendrick was beneath him. Let's see what happens in 5 years from now. Let's see. It was just a fleeting thing. Let's see what happens. That's not hip hop. Drake wasn't hip hop back then, because all of the artists that were hip hop, you know what they did? They jumped right in the ring. And Kendrick said, try harder. Even people that wasn't even on it. Joe Buttons, Lupe Fiasco, what's the boy name? Joe Ortiz. They all jumped in it. Whether it was for clout or not, they still jumped in it. But you know who the so-called number one artist at the time did? Nothing. He complained. So you should have known from back then that Drake was a complainer. He didn't get in there. Now, people say, well, he did say something on a record. But see, that's not hip hop. In my opinion, that's hip hop. Not saying it's not hip hop. That's hip hop. But it's not hip hop directly. Because number one, if someone called you out on a record, but then you wait and say something in an interview instead of you jumping in the booth, that's not hip hop, in my opinion. He tried to change the narrative and try to downplay what Kendrick did. If I ask you how that first started, could you tell me? And Elliott Wilson, so stunned by what he said, he didn't even realize that he probably could have said what he said. It was two different intros. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker. I sell it. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker. Said Miscellaneous Minds. Like, it's a bunch of different things that he could have said. But Drake knew to say that because people's attention span is very short. Because only thing that people cared about was the names that was said in that verse. Now, if he would have said who names was said in the verse, there you go. But there's a lot of songs that Drake has done where you don't know the beginning of the song either. Does that mean that none of them songs count? No, it doesn't mean that. But that's what Drake would want you to believe by saying something like that. He tested Elliott Wilson and he failed right in front of everybody. So as we go on, Drake started doing more things. Now, he started dissing Kendrick more, subliminally dissing Kendrick, subliminally doing things to people, saying things, doing all types of different things. We all know the history of this guy. We know what he has done to people. We know he has sent cease and desist letters. We know he has gotten to the point where he did where we at today. But we ain't get there yet. So Drake knew that he had to be a savage now, because no one's going to take it easy on you when it comes to hip hop. So he had to adapt. And see, the thing is, when a fake dude adapts in a real world, he causes chaos. It's not the same as a real dude adapting in a real world. Because see, a real dude would know that certain things are off limits. See, a fake dude, they believe that this is what it is, and I don't care, and I don't care what it disrupts. I don't care. He broke the code. There's a code, and he broke it, because fake dudes don't understand the code. Whatever code it is, fake dudes break the code because they don't understand the code. That's just what it is. So Drake's being a fake dude, not street, going after people's wives, talking to girls in the inbox that doesn't belong, that it's someone else's girl, sleeping with other dudes' white girlfriends. And he did something that really broke the code. And it's a bro code that he broke. That's one of the codes. He slept with Lil Wayne's girl. To this day, Lil Wayne tried to pretend as if that didn't bother him. Lil Wayne is one of the most sensitive rappers ever. I don't care what nobody says. That really bothered Lil Wayne that Drake slept with his girl when he was locked up. It did. It really bothered him to the point where this is why I believe that they're not friends. I believe that Drake and Lil Wayne is not friends. And the reason why I say that is because Drake and Lil Wayne have been how would I say this? When Drake was going through whatever he was going through with Kendrick, Lil Wayne didn't step in, he didn't say a word. And we're gonna get to that in a second. Where nobody said nothing. They just allowed him to just get steamrolled. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's for a reason. But anyway, so he had to adapt. And what I mean by adapt, he had to do these things that he thought that real people do, and real people don't do that. So again, you have a person who was a lame or wasn't as popular when he was younger. He didn't get girls. When you get thrust into the industry and you have all of this money, women don't like you for who you are. They like you for your money, and they'll do anything for it. Some of them will do anything for it. Some of them will do anything for a little bit of it. And you're popular. You have to ask yourself, how is it that none of these women stay around him? And I'm asking the Drake fans this. Why is it that Drake doesn't have a female who really is with him? Every one of these girls either despise him or don't want to have nothing to do with him. Why y'all think this is? It's not because, and you can't tell me because maybe he cheated on them or maybe he did them dirty or whatever. Because there are girls who stay around when you do them dirty. How come there's no women breaking his door down to try to be with him? Why is that? That's a question that you have to ask. Is there something wrong or there's something that is there? But why? I will say a lot of women, I haven't heard no woman come out and talk slander on him either. So I will say that. Like at least I haven't heard women say anything like bad about him sexually or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But still in all, we ain't even get to the major parts yet. But we're going to get there. We going to get there. We going to get there. So as time went on, he's been accused of certain things. Now, one of the things that he's been accused of is like in younger women, minors or whatever. And this is not on record. Like, this is not alleged. This actually did happen. He actually was on stage with a 17-year-old girl, and he was in his 20s, I think 25 or 26, 27. And he asked her age, but that's not the only time that actually happened. He actually asked several girls their age throughout those times. And some of them said 18. I believe there was another one that said she was younger. And he was like, and one girl said she was 20 or whatever. He was like, dang, yes, finally. So it's not that he didn't do that before, because he did. I seen it. But the thing is, when the 17-year-old got on stage, he literally said, "You 17? Oh, man, why you look like that, man? I don't want to go to jail, man." This is what he said. And he hugged her, kissed her on the lips, kissed her on the forehead, kissed her on the lips, and said to her, well, he said before that, I like the way your breast felt against my chest. He's literally said that to this 17-year-old girl. He said that. So it's not like this didn't happen. I just want y'all to understand something. A lot of y'all be pretending and acting as if this didn't happen. I know someone said, well, it was consensual. But like, bro, she was 17. That's creepy. That's more than creepy. That's disgusting. He's an older guy. She's still a minor. She ain't 18 yet. You know what I'm saying? So we saw her dad was there. I don't care. It's still creepy and disgusting, right? Okay. Let's get that out the way. So as he went on in life, you know, Kendrick is taking notes the whole time. And Drake and Kendrick is still having this silent war back and forth with each other. But he's taking notes the whole time. And Drake, being who he is, he has become a narcissistic man now. He's not the same guy anymore. Life has hit him so hard. And what I mean by hard is success, money, women, cars, clothes, houses, anything you could think of, he's in it. He has become to the point where he's bored of some of these things because it's so much given to him. You know, like being put on every playlist. Everything has been given to this man to the point where it's scary to other artists to see that he's on such a pedestal when it comes to different things. I don't know why those seats behind him look like they're cartoon seats, but those are actually really seats. But it looks like it's fake. So he has become this guy who believes that he is entitled and he's demanded. And this is what it is. Everything is his. You can't tell him nothing. It's all mine. This is what he become. This guy. It's all mine. You can't tell me nothing. That's what it is. So he started becoming, how would I say, experimental with different certain things that is a little out there. Let's just say. And because in my opinion, Drake has gotten bored and he don't really know what to do. So he's doing any and everything to try to keep the attention on him because he realized that for him to stay ahead of the curve, he got to do things that people probably are not willing to do. You know what I'm saying? Putting rollers in his hair and having his hair curly like this, knowing that, you know, some people say, well, this is a style of Houston or whatever, right? A lot of people are not going to see that. But the thing is, this is what I mean by culture appropriation, black culture being exploited by him, because when he first came into the game, he wasn't doing nothing like this. He was not doing nothing like this. You don't just become 10 years now you're what's the name? And in my opinion, I hate the fact that people try to associate homosexuality with the black community. I don't like that. I mean, you got, yes, there's homosexuals in the black community, but it's not always synonymous with just the black community. Sorry. No, it's not. But that's what they do. And I believe that this is what, in my opinion, is kind of what that is. You know what I'm saying? The feminine side of the black man. And it's like, even if this is something that he thinks is really a joke or whatever, but to me, this is cultural appropriation when you got someone who really isn't from that, and then he does stuff like this, and then he wears a curly hair. You know what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying. You get what I mean. So as he went on, him and J. Cole decided to do a song called First Person Shooter. And within First Person Shooter, They seem like they kind of disrespected Kendrick Lamar, and that was the downfall of Drake. Once he jumped into the ring and said certain things, it's been him been saying he been saying some things for years and years and years. I think Kendrick Lamar just couldn't take it no more. And it's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm really about to put all of this into this. And this has been 10 years in the making. And I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm going to put an end to this. And what Kendrick Lamar did was he put out, we already know what the battle happened in the battle. And Not Like Us, that was it. Not Like Us has put a hex on Drake to the point where it's been a year later. We're in 2025. Not Like Us came out May 4th, 2024. We are now July. What is it? July, what is it? Is it August? What is it? I don't know. Yeah, it's August 4th. So it's been a year in 4 months or something like that, right? A year and 4 months, and Drake is still reeling from that song. You have to understand, Drake at this point released plenty of songs, and they haven't got to number one. He hasn't had a number one since First Person Shooter. And he did have the album with number one, but then it fell off. His songs are not really charting as well. So he's going through it right now. And this is what shows, you know. So what Drake did was he did something that I think goes right back to the beginning of what I was saying about him not being hip hop. He filed a lawsuit against a record label for defamation of character because of a diss song that Kendrick Lamar did. And he said that these people have destroyed his career by promoting that song. It goes back to the beginning of what we were talking about when I said that Drake wasn't hip hop when Kendrick Lamar dropped the song with Big Sean, you know, with that song. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When Kendrick Lamar dropped Control, he responded with what? He responded with complaints. When Kendrick Lamar dropped Not Like Us, he responded with complaints. Now, the reason why I say that Drake did more this time because he's thrusted into hip hop and he has no choice but to defend himself, because it looks weird to see him not say nothing back. Because once Kendrick Lamar dropped uh uh like that, Drake had to say something because he's the man. I'm the man. I'm the man up in this piece. You know what I'm saying? He had to say something. And what happened? What happened? He ended up complaining. This time he filed a complaint with the court system. It wasn't Elliott Wilson. It was the judge in New York. He filed a complaint because Drake isn't hip hop. Drake has never been hip hop. Drake is who he is. He cosplayed as a hip hop artist, but he's never been hip hop. I just proved to y'all that he hasn't been hip hop. So even if you jump in the comments and say, well, he has been blah, 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 the one thing you never do in hip hop is go to the law. That is one of the rules. Remember I told y'all there are rules, and some people break these rules because they're not of the culture or they're fake. Fake people break these rules because they don't know. Drake broke the rule. The rule is you lost the battle, you don't go tell. If I punch you in the face and we fighting and I beat you, you don't go to the cops after you threw something at me, because that's what the Heart Part 6 was. You threw something at me when I was walking away, and then you ran to the police. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that this is what it is. This is what it is. So this is what I think Drake is dealing with today in his career. I think that Drake is going through so much inner turmoil right now that he needs validation. He needs people to tell him that he's still number one. Because being on top like that for so long and then you get knocked off, it's not a good feeling. It's actually something I think will mess with your mental and your mentality. I think that Drake is going through a lot right now. And I think that he might even hurt himself. Believe it or not. You have to understand. I know a lot of y'all don't understand this, but I'm gonna explain it to y'all. When you have this much power and it's taken from you by a guy that you think it's not as good as you, and he's doing much better than you, that has to mess with your head. No one can tell me that Drake is okay. He's not okay. If Drake was okay, he won't be going to none of these shows and talking to the crowd, telling the crowd, saying certain things to the crowd. He won't be doing that. He'll be like, let's just do the music. He's not okay. He's looking for people to tell him that he is that guy again. He's the boy. Whenever a man who's almost 40 years old still calls himself the boy, there is something wrong. He has not grown as a person. He still talks like he's still in his teens. He's not moving like a man. He doesn't even dress like a man. Like, he still wants them glory days. But see, what artists don't understand is you are good to a certain point and then you have to let it go. Kendrick Lamar gradually pushed his career to where it's at. That's why his longevity is going to last for a long time, because he didn't come out with something every year. He let people miss him. He did these things to build up his aura. It's different for him. Drake has been here. People want him to go away, but he doesn't want to go away because he don't know how to go away. He don't know how to not accept if he posts a picture and a lot of people don't like it. He don't know how to accept that he's not getting as many people doing a mosh pit like Kendrick. He don't know how to accept none of this. So he's going to continue this behavior. I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if something happens or he's rushed to the hospital or something. Because dealing with all of this has to be very, very draining emotionally. No one can tell me that Drake is not drained emotionally. He's not. I don't understand, where's his kid at? I know I've seen his kid one time, but when does he see his kid? You know, like, I could say the same thing for Kendrick, but maybe Kendrick is a little bit different, I guess. Because Drake was not on tour until recently. I'm telling y'all, more tours are going to be canceled. More of his tours are going to get canceled because he's not feeling it no more. And people are not feeling it. Drake is not connected with his fans anymore, at least the ones that is on in these concerts. You have people who never even seen Drake in real life. They just are online and they just want to be his shield. But Drake is not connected with his fans anymore. They, when you are like when you're a Kendrick fan or whenever you're a Jay-Z fan or Nas or Eminem fan, there's a certain connection that you have with these people. Eminem, all these people. I think that the connection with Drake has been broken. It's not there anymore. It's just not there. So you got to realize what we're dealing with here. A man who's probably depressed inside and not really speaking on it. And a lot of us are not really talking about it. So I'm just going to tell y'all now, the fall of Drake has started last year. And it's took a long time to get to this point, but I believe that this is the end. And I know a lot of y'all might disagree with that, but I believe that this is the end. And I don't think that he's going to ever recover from this, because now it's become a trend now. People are starting to notice. And I will say that he has a lot of projects. A lot of projects. This is all his projects. All of them. And some of these projects are forgettable. Some of these projects people don't even care. You know what I mean? But he has a lot of stuff. And I'm just going to say, I believe that most people that worked with Drake throughout his career, they realized what type of person he was. They realized he wasn't who they thought he was, and he's not cut from the same cloth they cut from. So they distanced themselves from him. That's why I don't think that nobody was going to ever come to his rescue, because people wanted to see Drake fall. Some people say, well, they wanted him to fall because they wanted Drake to fall because he was on top for so long. I don't think that that's what it is. I think that they knew that this battle was going to happen, and it had to happen, and that's hip hop. Most hip hop artists know that Jay-Z and Nas was battling. Ain't no jump-ins. This is a fair one. And when Biggie and Pac was battling, this is a fair one. Even though who's Fatal Hussein and all them jumped in, but we ain't talking about them. I'm just saying it's a fair one, and people knew that. And I think that some people did want Drake to get out of here, and I think that Lil Wayne was one of them. That's why he didn't say nothing. To this day, he hasn't said nothing. Nicki Minaj hasn't said nothing to this day. Nobody said nothing to this day. Nobody said, yeah, man, I hate Kendrick for what he did to Drake. Nobody said nothing. They just let it go, because I think that they were okay with what happened, because he wasn't a real one. And they know that. They just know he's very big and he's very where he's at, but they know that Drake, he's not a real one. So, all right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all for being here with me on this one. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. That was a long one, but I just wanted to let y'all know, man, that Drake definitely is not the same anymore. I know a lot of y'all Drake fans, y'all see the thumbnail, don't watch this video, but it is what it is. I think that he has become irrelevant, and he knows it. He needs to sit down, and that's it, at least for a little bit. But thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace. Bye.